If you're here, then you already know who she is. She is one of only 15 EGOTs, meaning those who have won all 4 major entertainment awards. Thank you for joining us, Maestro.
Thank you.
In 2022, there was a film called Tar, over 2.5 hours long, too much for many. It was written and directed by Todd Field, starred the amazing Cate Blanchett. It won 73 awards and is now streaming. She had to learn German and how to conduct an orchestra. There was much to see, but what didn't we?
There was a lot of things that we shot that are actually not in the film, but I was so grateful to have shot them because they became, I understood the character on a level I don't think I've ever understood a character before. Through the editing process, I said, "Oh, Todd, but we've lost that bit." And he said, "Yeah, but it's homeopathically in the narrative." And I think that that's really, well, it's sense that it's actually, it's there in a kind of a very gentle way. The film doesn't have to over describe the characters. The character of Lydia came from a family of deaf parents, you know, so that affected her relationship to sound and her own ability to have an extraordinary ear and the guilt surrounding that. That was a really interesting texture for me to know, but it's not necessarily in the film.
Part of the sort of impetus to write the script was having a couple of years with a lot of very dramatic things happen in our culture that inspired a lot of questions by many of us in terms of how we look at power and what information we're allowed to determine how we feel about power. And I wanted to try to tell a story that was aligned with the questions that I was having myself.
Charles Lawton used to say, there comes a moment where it clicks and I feel I've got the character. Did you have a moment where it clicked?
You never know. I mean, it could click for you, but then it may not click for an audience. So there's a double click there, right? This is going to sound so shallow. I have a pair of jeans. It was the first day of rehearsal with the Dresden Philharmonic. And I was so nervous that I knew stepping onto the podium in front of this major orchestra was going to be a nerve-wracking experience, but I had to rehearse. And this pair of jeans, I feel really great in them. So I put this pair of pants on and I stood on the podium wearing that pair of pants. I sort of felt like I felt an energy that I needed to embody.
I can't thank you enough for sharing that pants story.
My pants story, yeah.
It's a great pants story, but you've both been great, and I thank you so much. It's good to see you again.
Thank you, Patrick. Lovely to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Todd.
Flicks with Patrick Stoner explores the craft and culture of filmmaking that enhance our communities for television stations and websites around the country.